Okay, so yeah, let's talk Joe Baby, right? This is the brand new film from Stephen Brand. It was written by Todd Samovitz. The film is produced by Stephen Brand as well. Robert A. Daly Jr., Stephen Endelman, David Lipper, Jeff Rice, co-produced by Kip Tribble and Kenny Yates, executive produced by Brian Nirajan Schiff, Rick Moore, George Burt, associate produced by Isabella Blake Thomas, with Matt O'Neill as a coordinating producer. Stephen Edwards handled the score. George Burt also is on cinematography. Christopher Robin Bell edits a piece. Right, Beth Lipari handled our casting. We got Gabor Norman on production design. Art direction is Julie Touche. Stephen Lanny is set decoration. We've got Dakota Keller on costumes wardrobe. Right, hair and makeup, we have Aaron Davis, Jamie Frazier, and Melissa Stryker. Okay, and taking care of the stunts, we have Elette Craddock, Chad Crumley, Christopher Heskey, Cece Ice, and Sirius Lazy. Right? That takes us to our cast. We have got Dichen Lachman as Joe Baby. Her mum, Anne, is played by Kelly Hu. Her dad, Walter, is played by Corin Nemec. There is Heather Stanton, played by Willa Fitzgerald. Her dad, Prentice Stanton, played by Ron Perlman. His former business partner, Randall Kane, is played by Harvey Keitel. There is Rick White, right, played by Kenneth Choi. We got Flanagan, played by Jason London. Art Simonon, that's Cho's boss, right, played by Dan Bakerdal. Barney Gold, played by Joseph D. Reitman. Marco Leon, played by David Lipper. Lady Sage, played by Sylvia Grace Krim. Roxy, played by Cherry McRae. There is Mrs. Gold, played by Bonnie Brewer. Candy, played by Jessica Halfcock. Sunny, played by Jenny Austin. Ike, played by Kennedy Taylor. I think that's basically it. A young version of Joe is played by Emery Ann. Yeah, that's our main lot of characters, okay? So the gist of the story is a money collector for a private investigator is hired to track down $10 million stolen in a dodgy real estate deal, opening a complex can of worms. So yes, people, that's our film. Yeah, right. It's interesting, right? I will say there's some very good moments in it, right? There's some stuff that works well, but also there's stuff that just, yeah, is a bit flat, right? It's like we start off and we see we get these kind of flashback scenes, right, to the breakup of the partnership between Randall Kane and Prentice Stanton. So we see that, right, and then we're introduced to Joe, right? We have her go collect some money, kick some butt, right? And then she is hired. Well, yeah, I think it was hired straight away, right, from Heather Stanton. And so that then builds this story up. And I think I do like a thriller, right? I do like a little crime story, things like Lucky Number 11. Love that shit. You know what I mean? Love that. The Cooler, a very underrated film, really good. And I think they work when the story makes sense, right? The acting is great, right? Just all the elements come together and we get this really gripping tale. And you do love it when, the plot, right, takes you by surprise, right? There's just shit that you were not expecting. That's always a great one. And I think the big thing with Joe Baby is you see every single plot twist. Like, nothing is a surprise here, right? Oh, I will say it's a adaptation, right? It's an adaptation of a I think it's 2011, right? A 2011 book from Drew Fine. Yeah, so he wrote the book. I think it might be a series. I'm not quite sure. Everything's a little unclear, but yeah, it's an adaptation of this book. And that's always the thing, right? How is the book compared to the film? Because I remember things like Gone Girl. The book is definitely, there's more to the book, right? The same with The Housemaid, The Housemaid, I feel that's what it's called, right? The Sydney, they made the Lionsgate, the Sydney Sweeney film. Yeah, anyway, the book, definitely, there's more to it, right? So with this one, I mean, from jump, you can see the double cross, right? The double cross are not a surprise, right? You can work out who's gonna die, who's gonna get it. All of these things are just glaring. So when you have a character like buying it, you're just kind of scratching your head because you're just like, wait. They bought that delivery? Because the delivery is just, there's some people who are clear. It really feels like they're just going through the motions, right? It's like acting by numbers. Right? There doesn't seem to be the passion. Now, I will say, Dichen, she does a good job, right? I thought she was a very decent Joe Baby, right? And I think she sold the character well. I did think that. Like, some of the other acting was a little bit, sus. Willa doesn't do a bad job of Heather, though, because I think the thing with Willa's performance, her character isn't written great, right? So there's bits that work really well and other bits are a little bit, but I do think that's more script than Willa, and I did think that Kelly, who is decent as Joe's mum, right? I think that's a good dynamic. You buy that dynamic, But yeah, there's just a lot of other things where you're just like, oh, I hate to say it, but Ron Perlman. Ron Per, and it's funny because Ron can act, right? We've seen Ron kill it. And then sometimes he does like some indie things, and you're just like, okay. It just feels like his heart isn't in it. It just feels a very perfunctory performance, which, you just need more from it to really sell the duplicity of the character, and that's the big thing here. Like the fight scenes, like the hand-to-hand fight scenes aren't too bad, right? There's some of them are pretty decent. They shot from good angles where you can hide the fact that you're not trying to knock someone out, right? You know what I mean? So it just looks, it looks fine. It looks like a good fight. The where it gets kind of crazy is the shootout stuff, because when you got something like running across open space, you're just like, wait, are we trying to believe they did not get shot? Right? Or they're poking their head round a corner and then a bullet, you're just wait, no one, really? And it's always, whenever there's a gun scene, it is always amusing when someone hides behind something that you're just like, a bullet would go straight through that. Right? A table, a thin-ass table as well, is not gonna save you from a bullet. It's always just really, really amusing. You're just like, come on, man, what are we doing here? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that makes no sense or is just like, well, I don't know how you didn't see where that was gonna go. So there's a lot of that. Some, as I said, some of the acting isn't good. The script is kind of all over the place. It's not an incredible script. I think if you want something where you can just tune off, this can work. If you like films like Fast Charlie, right, I think this will work. It's not gonna win any awards, right? Don't expect anyone nominated for an Oscar for this. But as I say, Dichen holds it down. Like, you can buy Dichen in that kind of role, right? The fact that we're getting a female Expendables film, supposedly, finally, right? Like, she could slot into a film like that. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Joe Baby. Kind of depends on what you're looking for. That's the big thing with a film like this. It's always that, right? If you've had a long ass day, you want to unwind, you want to put something on you don't have to think about, Joe Baby could be that film. But if you just watch Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy or like Slow Horses and you're like, man, I need something in that vein, what else could I watch? Oh, this could, it's not. Don't. You'll be mad disappointed. Okay, so yeah, think about what you need, what you want, what you're looking for. And then, if it's just some airy fun, Joe Baby. Okay, it is out on all the major platforms. So if it sounds like it's your thing, enjoy.